Hey, folks, Dave back here in Studio B, and just a quick little live chat tonight. Just want to come on and say hi to everybody. Haven't really done much streaming lately. It's been a busy week. I did a couple of videos plus the show. So just want to come on tonight and say hi. I'm actually just setting up my chat here to make sure that we don't get any unrulies in here to put some stupid links in the chat room. So anyway, um, what I wanted to talk about tonight, and I figured I'd bounce some ideas off of you guys, was the question: why do we keep buying games? And I could put and or seasons. Um, and it kind of came to me today. I was watching the Replay Gamer. If you haven't seen him, go check out his channel, the Replay Gamer on YouTube. And he said that one of my comments, or I don't know if it was on the video, one of my comments, he says he knows a lot of people that it was in the video. He says, I know a lot of people that that play one game only and enjoy that and don't need any others. And I think I replied like, I have yet to meet that man. And so as Bears Den shows up, what's going on? Hopefully your weekend is going good. Oh, I need to change that. I want to go back to my classic. Let me fix this. Give you a better one here. Yeah, that's what I like. I like the nice big hello on here when you can post some stuff. And so it got me thinking. It's like I have all these games. Like, see, behind me here, I have all my APBA stuff. I have APBA baseball here. All the stuff on the shelf right over here. These are all different games that I printed out and played. Anything from the Downey game to Solitaire Pro Football, Al Wilson's game, and so it's like I have all these games, and I'm still looking to get more games. And it's like, why do we do it? Why do we keep on buying more? You like your strat, and there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe that is you. Maybe he was talking about you, Bears Den. Maybe he was you were the guy he was talking about. Excuse me one second. I got my tea with my honey in it. For some reason I lost my voice. And you have I have a bunch of Strat hockey seasons. Okay, so I have Strat hockey seasons. I got a whole bunch of app people. But this new camera, I'm not really liking it. It's losing focus on me. Plus all the video games up here I get all these games here and I'm looking to buy more. So it's like why do we do it? Why do we buy more games than we'll ever need? Why do we buy more seasons? Like I have the APBA 1980 baseball season. I'm absolutely loving it and I'm playing that. But I feel like I need to buy another season because I like it so much. I want more of it. So I want to buy another season. So I'm thinking about either 77 or 79 or 82 or something like that. I'm like, I want to buy another season of baseball so I can play some other teams, even though I have all these other games. So why do we buy all these games? Why do we buy new seasons when we have tons of seasons? And I come downstairs here to Studio B sometimes. I look around, even over here on my left over here, I have a whole folder, whole file cabinet of folders with all games in it. And I'm just like, okay, why am I not playing some of these games too? The smaller games, usually the quick play games and stuff like that. So just throwing it out to you, why do we continue to buy games when we have so many? Is my question out there to you. And I'm going to try to answer that myself. It's something we talk about a lot on the show and a lot here on YouTube as well. And I think for me, it's the idea of trying something new, maybe a game that I normally wouldn't play because I want to see it for myself. And sometimes you play it once and you're like, oh boy, it's really not for me. And sometimes it's like, this is fun to play once in a while. And I was talking to Ron today, and I says, I think I might pull out the Hockey Blast. I haven't played Hockey Blast in quite some time. And it's one of these games that it's not my favorite game, but I enjoy it, and I just never play it. So it's like I should go back and play Hockey Blast, and maybe I should pick up a new season of Hockey Blast, even though I have a ton of seasons that I'm not playing. And again, I get the itch to buy another APBA season, or my biggest itch now is to get the new Stratomatic PC baseball game. And I'm like real close to getting it. I really am. Ron did a pretty good video on it, and Al had a video on it, and a few other people had a video on it. So I'm like, why is it do I want to go check this out? Baseball's not even really my favorite game. As you know, I'm a hockey guy. But I've been enjoying APBA baseball. I've been enjoying Pocket Pennant Run. So why is it I need to go get Strat PC baseball? I don't know. Bernard, welcome here. And I've had 9 Strat baseball seasons in my car for the last 8 hours. I'm trying to talk myself out before I press the buy. I so do. You know what I do? And not necessarily just with Strat, but with Apple, with everything, is I will go and I will load my cart up with like my wish list, Sears catalog, if you will. And I'll say, well, oh, I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this, right? And I have all these things in my cart, and I sit and I do one of these, and it's like, okay, yeah, $200. Do I need to spend $200 tonight on this stuff, considering how much I already have? And then you like you pull some out of the cart, and then you put one back, and you take a couple out and you put one back, and you go back and forth, and you go upstairs and you get a drink, whatever, and you sit there and you come back and you look at it again, and then you go to someplace on the web and you're like looking up seasons, like, oh, what season would I really play, and then you talk yourself out of getting a couple of seasons, and then no, I really want that, and especially during a sale. Sales are the worst because you jam that cart. If it's a buy three get one free, or it's a one like the inside sports games when it was buy one get one. It was either buy one get one or buy one get one half off. I think it was buy one get one, and I went nuts on hockey and football season, even a couple of baseball seasons. I just bought a whole bunch of stuff. Bears Den, what do you got here? Just have to push the order button. Almost 200. I know, right? I'm the whole thing about the baseball though is I'd have to go get, I think, the picture pack or the old picture pack. And Ron was telling me there's all this other stuff I got to do. Um, so do I do it all at once, or do I just get the game and play it to see if I like it? I think I might just get the game and a season just to see if I like it, and then maybe I'll do all the add-ons. I don't know. So you got a 252 in your cart, Bernard. Oh boy. Um, and you go back and forth too. Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of a game because, and sometimes it's like you save $20, and you're like, I get 220 in there. I'm gonna bring it down to 200. Okay, I'm okay with 200, but I'm not okay with 220. It's funny where you draw the line in your shopping cart when you buy these things, and sometimes I make a big purchase and I get real upset with myself. I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I did all that, and I shouldn't have done that, and you get the buyer's remorse, and it kind of sets in like, oh man, what did I do? And there's other times that you don't spend a lot, and you're like, oh man, I should have got that, or I thought I got that. Like you're checking, you're like, I thought I bought that season. Is that no? I guess that's one of the seasons that didn't make the final cut, so to speak. But I do that too. I fill up the shopping cart and I look at it real hard. I'm like, okay, which ones do I really want, and why did I want this season anyway? What was the deal behind that, and would I play that, and was that just a fleeting moment that I had? When I wanted to buy that season because I saw a YouTube clip or somebody retired or something happened in the sports world. And like, oh, that'd be fun to go play that. So, that triggers like, oh, I want to get that season now. But then you sit down and you really, really think about, do I want to spend all this money? And I hear you guys. So a couple guys in the chat room here that get their shopping cart all just ready to press that button. And it's so hard to do sometimes. And that's a kind of the troubling thing about our hobby is some of these games where you have to buy the individual seasons, it gets really pricey, And again, yeah, and this is a great point here by Bernard. I'm not sure why I want to spend the money when you get every baseball season with OOTP for about $50. Yeah, franchise hockey manager, out of the park baseball, you get every season with it. You don't have to buy individual seasons. Even Pocket Pennant Run comes with a ton of seasons. I think all of them pretty much. And yet we're off, buying these other games, individual seasons. I can see, when you're buying the cards, if you get like with Apple Baseball, if you get 900 cards, okay, you're gonna spend $70 or something like that. That's a lot of cards to get. I get that, And some of the other things too. It's like, oh, if I'm gonna get a ton of cards, and it's kind of worth it. But other times it's a lot of money. Like I say, if I bought another app of baseball season, it's gonna be about $80 or so, maybe a little bit more with shipping. And I'm trying to think, how many hours would I get out of that? Could I get 10 hours of fun out of that? So I'd be paying $8 an hour. I probably would get 10 hours of fun out of that. So if it's $8 an hour to play that season, That's not too terrible. Um, like I said, I got I tend to hoard things. Like I'm a collect them all type of guy. Like I need to collect the whole set. That's just me. It's it's a bad trait that I have. you know. Um, I mean, I guess like I could be addicted to worse things. That's for sure. And PJet shows up here because we can. I know. Why do we keep buying these games? Because we can. And again, my big thing today was, pulling the trigger on Strat PC Baseball. I'm in a baseball mood right now. That's what it is. I'm in a baseball mood. It started with, I think it started with Inside Pitch, and I found that was very difficult. Even the PC game was difficult. And then when it rolled that into APA Baseball, and I just fell in love with APA Baseball. And then Pocket Pennant Run come out, and I'm like, oh, this is really fun too. So those are like neck and neck. And I pulled out the Strat, and I was kind of enjoying the Strat a little bit. Hang on a second. I'm going to open my window here. It's really, really hot in here. Excuse me one second. Like somebody turned on the heat in here, and it's like boiling down here. So so now it's like, do I really need Strat? I mean, I have a couple Strat seasons, but the thing about Strat, and I think the Replay Game was talking about that today, was just, there's just not a ton of classic seasons in there. So you're really limited. That's why I really like Appa, because they get tons of seasons. Let me see. I'm just addicted. It's like playing games. I like playing the games more than I like having the money. Yeah, I suppose you're right. I think, there's something about getting a package in the mail or an email with a new season or a new game. There's just something about that. It's like, watching a new movie. I mean, you got your favorite movies. You can put in your favorite movies over and over and over, but there's something about, something new and just, I think what it is that, you work real hard. I work a bunch of different jobs, and I'm sitting in cold hockey rinks. Today I was in a cold hockey rink for about 6 hours today. It was cold in the rink. And I come home from that, and I'm like, I'd like to enjoy some of the fruits of my labor, so to speak. And not that I haven't or whatever, but I mean, it's just the idea that I think that, I do all this work, and sometimes I work 7 days a week, and it's like, I want to buy something for myself and just feel like that all this work I'm doing is getting me some joy in life. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's just, buying a season once in a while or buying a new game and trying something new and learning something new is just it's a refreshing. It's very refreshing. It's like trying a new restaurant or a new TV show that you want. I really enjoy that stuff there, and I like having variety. I like going to buffets so I can pick from the buffet, so to speak. Bears down when you got going on. Something about holding the card in your hand, a computer, gonna make it feel real. Yeah. Oh, it's much more intimate. Absolutely. When you got the cards in your hand, it's so intimate. It's right there. You're feeling it in your hand, and you're rolling the dice, and it feels like you're there. Like playing board games as a kid was much more fun and interactive. You always made your own rules. You never played it correct. You always just you made it your game. You had so much fun with it. And when you play a video game, you're looking at the TV. You're not looking at your friend, and you're stuck with what the video game's going to do, as far as rules and whole bit. So there's something so fun about cards and dice. And I wish I knew more local people that I could play with once in a while. It'd be kind of fun. Is just sit face to face and have a beer or a coffee or whatever it is and just play a game of something or other. Just once in a while, just a stray game would be kind of fun. Let me see what do you got here. Red Fan Rod, good to see you here. Great topic. Just spent $85 on a past season of cards of a basketball sim today. PTG basketball, but big league company. You had to, exactly. I had to have it. That's where I am right now with Strat PC Baseball. I have to have it. And I watched a ton of videos on that, and I wasn't sold on it. But now they get the new one out, and I guess they made a couple of small changes, and Ron is suggesting that I might like this now. So, and I have to have it now. And I just don't know what season I'm going to get, and if I'm going to get all the ballpark images, if I should just get the game and play it to see if I like it or not. Because I do like the Strat Baseball. And like I said, I like the app of the Pocket Pen Run and the Strat. And I like Payoff Pitch too. I'm finding though that I'm getting confused with that. I played it a while back and I enjoyed it, and when I went back, I found that for some reason I was struggling with it. I'm not sure. What do we got here? Dave here just jumped on. Funny to see this at the time. I just got two new basketball games in the mail and I'm waiting for another to come. Right, David? Right? I mean, why is it? Why is it that we keep buying games and we have games and um. I guess there's worse things you could do. I know people that collect cars, and even if it's only like $10,000 or $15,000 on a car, that's a lot of money to be sitting around. How many cars can you actually have? And I know how many games can you play at once. I get that argument, but if I spend $78 on an app a season, or if I spend $20 or $30 on a new game, it's not $10,000, and it's not taking up space in my garage, and I don't have to pay insurance on it, like you would a car. So there's a lot of expensive hobbies out there, Excuse me one sec. The tea and the honey trying to keep my voice going tonight. It's fun to see how others attack games and learning history with older games. I like figuring out how games tick. Yeah, I do too. We did a show on that, solving the puzzle. You try to figure it out. The older you get, the more I appreciate all the approach. Yeah, I look at some of these games, David, and I for the life of me, I can't figure out how they do it. And you get some of the results, and it's like, wow, this is pretty good. And sometimes you hit it just right. And I know a lot of it's the luck of the draw and the dice, but I mean, I played a game of shootout hockey. I'm replaying the 1970-71 season, and I haven't. It's probably been almost a year since I picked up that season there. I was getting frustrated with inputting the stats. I don't get a good way to do it, really. But anyway, I played a game. It was just a standard game. I want to say it was like a Pittsburgh-Buffalo game. It was just kind of a meaningless game, and I think I finished October. So it was in October of 1970, and I played the game, and I like to go to I think NHL.com actually had all the box scores. So I go to the box score to see which goalie started the game, right? And then from there I just kind of wing it. And in my game, I think it was shootout. The goalie got hurt and had to leave the game. And I brought in the other guy, right? And I finished the game. In real life, in that particular game, they used both goalies. And I didn't know if somebody got hurt or if they yanked him after so many goals. It really wasn't a lopsided score, so I don't think they would have yanked. I mean, they could have yanked him for any reason, but just the idea that I had to use both goalies, and when I went back and looked, they used both goalies in that game, and it's not often that you use both goalies in a hockey game, and back then, and that time they did. I thought that was pretty crazy, So. Let's see here, but I prefer cards and dice games, but I play the computer games to replay seasons. Yeah, that's a big thing there that we talked about too, and that's probably why I would get the Strat PC Baseball, because I like with the action PC games and some of the other Strat games I have, I like to pick and choose which games I play, and I don't have time to play them all. Like, I love the Inside Sports games. I like Inside the Crease. I like the football game a lot, Inside Blitz. The baseball game I struggle with, but I still play it from time to time. And the basketball game I'm still learning, and I get the tennis game too. But like, as far as a hockey game go, you can't sim the games, and that's a deal breaker for a lot of people, and it is for me too. I only play the one-offs with that. I think I'm playing the Washington Capitals 74 expansion season, see how I do with them. But aside from that, I don't do a lot of replays with Inside the Crease, just because the computer won't sim the other games. And if it did, that would be my go-to hockey game. I love that game. But again, it's designed to be a cards and dice type of experience, which it is. But like you were saying, if you want to replay a season, you need some kind of help to play the other games, because it's just, and some people do it. Some people will. That Replay Gamer, I was trying to get a hold of you. I wanted to email you. You were a big reason why I was doing this chat tonight. I wanted to see if you actually wanted to come on and chat with me about this. I was trying to get your email. Loving those coincidences. Yeah, it just makes it eerie when you go back and you see something that was really close, that was really kind of strange. You know what I mean? Um, that happens in a game. PJet, finance permission for buying all the games and sets I would like to, and if I buy one and it doesn't click, I turn around and sell it. Okay, I can see that. I don't know if I've ever turned around and sold anything, but the games will go into my closet. My thing is, and I just know myself, and I got to be honest with myself, is I'm a very impatient person, and I just know that about myself. And I'll get my dog here on me. Sorry about that. My whole life, I get things immediately, or I tend to never get it. Even in school when I grew up, it's where's my thing? Where's my thing? Yeah, there we go. Right. So we go back in time. Even when I was in school, like the teacher would give the lesson, and I either got it or I didn't. There was no amount of studying would get me to learn that. It either clicked in my head or it didn't, and a lot of times it did. So a lot of games I play, if it doesn't click right away, I get really frustrated at that because it's like, why am I not getting this? And I'll put it away. So instead of selling it or throwing it out or whatever, I put it away. And I found that I've come back to a lot of games with just maybe it's just, what's going on in my life, or just a better frame of mind, or maybe I saw a video that something clicked. Okay, so I find that I give games second chances, and they work out. Most of them work out pretty well. Not all of them, but most of them work out. So for me, knowing I'm impatient, knowing myself, if I get frustrated with the game, I have to put it away because I'll end up hating the game. So I put it away, and then when I'm ready, I come back and I take another look at it. And sometimes it takes 2 or 3 looks for that game to click. Sometimes it never clicks, and then it's like, yep, this is not the game for me. But a lot of times, every game I have here, there's enjoyment to be had in every single game that I own. Some there's more enjoyment and some there's less, but I find no matter what game I have here in this house, there's enjoyment to be had, and I like to pull out the different games once in a while and play those for different enjoyments. Now, again, I could play Apple Hockey all day long and be perfectly happy, but I like to pull out the strat. I like to pull out inside the crease. I like to pull out my shootout. I like to pull out some of the quicker play games too. Some of the Downey quicker play games. Those are fun to play. That quick results hockey game, I was really kind of enjoying that. It's a brand new game that I found on Delphi. I was kind of having some fun with that. That was really kind of fun as well. Obviously, the strat hockey and the whole bit. So. But every now and then I like to pull out an odd game and play it because there's always some kind of enjoyment. And even though it's like, okay, I'm just going to play this once and I'll put it away for a few months. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Again, the replay game. Yep, I was, yeah, you kind of spawned this today when you said you found the one guy that liked to play one game. And I was like, I have yet to see that man. I have yet to meet that man. You know what I mean? Dave, what do you got? Bears, I do the same. It's cool when you get a new game and pretty much already know how to play for it. Yeah, I love that. I love when I get a game, and there's been a few games that I watch videos on. It's like, oh, I get it, and I don't even have to worry about it. It's like, I know how to play it. Sometimes it's a good example on like a website or something, and I like to cite regular season basketball, Marco's game. That is a fantastic example of on the website, a playthrough of the game. And so when I found his game and I read the playthrough and I printed out the sample teams and the instructions, I read through the instructions one time, I read through the sample gameplay one time, and I was off and running. That game, it just like, it made all the sense in the world. The examples were great. The instructions were written out really well. And it was like, boy, boom, I picked that game up and that was great. There's other games, I look at the instructions and what does this mean? And I'll call Ron. It's like, Ron, does this mean this? And he's like, no, but I can see how you would think it would mean that. And so I come at it from a way different angle, and I overthink what the directions say, and I get the game wrong. And I get frustrated because I'm like, is it this? Or is it this? So I get kind of frustrated with that there. PJ, what do you got? You sold Apple Hockey and Baseball, 4th Street Hockey, ZV. I have Ice Nuts Hockey. I haven't played it yet. I read it. I bought it on sale on Black Friday. And, it looks okay. It looks okay. I haven't set up and played. I watched the videos. The videos aren't really they're okay that the company does. They could probably update them and do some better ones, but I did buy it and I just haven't played it yet. It looks interesting. But again, I bought it. Again, why do we keep buying games? It's a game I haven't even played yet. Now, 4th Street Hockey I haven't done yet, and I saw that you were working on that, but I haven't done that one yet. I remember you sold the APA. You weren't happy with it, and that's fine. It's just not everybody's cup of tea. Here's my cup of tea. It's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. For me, it just grew on me. I don't know why it just grew on me. And David said, never sell or trade anything. I have games that have been collecting dust for 20 years, and one day pull it up. Yeah, exactly. I get games behind like this cabinet right there, next to the washer back there. That's loaded with games. And it's, everything from Strat to the play games to, independent games. And it's just loaded with games. This shelf behind me over here has got a bunch of games. Again, I have them all over down here. It's like everywhere you look, there's games. And every now and then you look at it, it's like, I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to play this. No matter what game, I'm going to play a little bit. And I would hate to want to play a game and find out that I got rid of it. I just would. And Brad says the same thing. I think he's following up David, saying he doesn't sell or trade anything. Bears, then when you got here, it really helps you can live through the videos. Yep. Yeah. You're exactly right. You're not rich, but any game I have isn't going to be the reason why you have to leave your house. You're exactly right. I mean, and we got to be smart about it too. Hey, NHL News Report, good to see you. What is the NHL News Report? How are those Canadians doing? Why do they have less wins than the Montreal Canadiens? I need your expertise on that. I really do. Poor Ron. But David makes a great point. Let me put this back up here again. When I buy my big ticket items, usually it's if I do an extra job and I get some extra money that week, that's when I'm going to do it. Or if it's a sale, or if, like I say, I really haven't bought anything in a while that I can think of. Black Friday, I had a big Black Friday. That's why I kind of backed off on a lot of things. But I don't think I've really, aside from Pocket Pennant Run and then the APA baseball season I bought, I really don't think I've bought much since Black Friday. So I go through my ebbs and flows where I spend the much and then I back down a little bit. But yeah, it's over time. All these seasons and stuff that I got here has been over time. The APA hockey I went nuts on because of Strat, how they go out of stock. I got nervous, so I said I wanted to make sure I have every APA hockey season I would ever want to play before they go out of stock. Because I did buy an APA baseball season, and that's already out of stock, and I have it. I'm like, ooh, good. That's Strat baseball. So I'm like, ooh, I'm glad I bought that season, because if I wanted it now, I wouldn't get it. So I kind of went crazy with the hockey, but all the other stuff I chip away at. I wait for a sale, and I'll buy some seasons on a sale. Or if there's a new game to come out and they have it on, whatever, I'll pick it up on a sale that they got. So I try to do that there. You like the Atlanta Flames? Yeah, I put it next to the Hawks. And then I put the Giants and the 49ers together, and then I put the Sabres in the middle tonight. I just shook it up a little bit. I kept the Hawks up there because Ron's playing Strat PC basketball. And remember all the problems I had with the Atlanta Hawks with regular season basketball when I did the Celtics replay in 85-86. The Hawks kept beating me. And then in PC replay basketball, the Hawks keep beating me. So Ron's playing Strat, and he's having a hard time with the Hawks. So there's something about the Hawks, how they're carded in all these games that the 85 Celtics just have a hard time with them. So I put that up there for him, just to kind of as a reminder, David says, even if I don't play games, I spend much time reading the cards or the game, maybe before going to sleep, and they get your value out of it. APA Baseball is a great example. Yeah, I will do that sometimes, too. I'll have a game. In fact, I get, over here. I won't pull it out now. But I have instructions sitting over here for a game I'm playing. I think it was it might have been PC Replay Baseball that I printed out the instructions for to kind of follow along a little bit. So I'll go to bed and I'll have the instructions here and I'll be like, okay, I just played a game, but I was confused on a few things, and maybe this will help me be unconfused. And I'll read the directions too. So yeah, I do that. Even Strat Hockey, I pull that out all the time to try to I need to get back into Strat Hockey. I just created a new score sheet for Strat Hockey, so I'm kind of hoping that's going to really help me push my way to back into Strat-O-Matic Hockey. But I'll be the instruct. I'll take the instructions to work at the rink, and I'll be reading between periods or something just to kind of refresh myself. But yeah, I like that. Uh, that's the one things I never get into was studying the cards because I don't know. I really don't know enough about the cards in any game. I mean, you can look at the baseball game and see a one, and that's a home run. And in the hockey game, you can see a one's a shot on net and things like that. But I'm not really good at looking at all stuff, even the strat cards. I mean, I guess you can see if it's a home run or not, but I couldn't really tell you a good card from a bad card. I'm just not at that point yet. Again, just me. I'm just kind of like enjoying it, kind of happy go lucky. So I'm not taking it too serious, and I don't want to just yet because I see how serious people get and they get all worked up about it. I'm like, no, let's not get that serious about it. Let's just enjoy it, and hopefully everything's okay. And where are we now? And let's see, probably spent 30 hours looking at your app of baseball says before bed. Nice. The reason why you never get rid of Mick cards because they're yeah, that's good. And you've had Hockey Blast for 5 years. Not sure why I haven't played it. Printed Andy Lewis college hockey cards one day. And I'll give it a whirl. I've been talking about Hockey Blast for about a week now that I'm going to pull it out and play a game because I bought a couple of seasons. I don't know if it was over Christmas or Black Friday. That's been 3 months now. And I want to play it again because, again, I play it Dave's way. Hockey Blast, I have a love-hate relationship with it, but there's fun to be had. Like I said, there's fun to be had in that game. And every now and then you want to play something a little different. You don't want to play the same old, same old. You want to play something different. So, and to me, Hockey Blast is different. And I just haven't pulled it out yet. It's still sitting there. I got my season. I think I bought 86, 87 they had on sale. So I got that one there. Plus some of my favorite seasons, 70 and 74, 75. And it's just a matter of pulling it out and playing it. But again, I have a lot of games like that. It's like, why haven't I pulled this out? I need to do that. So they were talking about studying the cards. Jeffrey, what do you got? You buy them now so you have them later when they stop being made to become hot. That is a great point Jeffrey makes right there. And I was kidding to Ron when I was before I found Apple Hockey, I was buying up all the Strat hockey seasons. I was going on eBay and I was buying seasons that, Strat doesn't have, why they don't print on demand. I don't know. That's their business model. That's their business. But, if I'm spending, $100, on a Strat season, that's money Strat could be happen. So I bought a bunch of hockey seasons because, I was like, okay, one day I'll be old. And I'll have time, and I'll just have all my seasons ready to go, and I won't have to worry about buying it. I won't have to worry about money because I'll have all the seasons. And someday, I'll sit down and then I'll play all these seasons. But I have them, and that's kind of what Jeffrey was saying. Buy them now so you have them later when they stop being made or they're hard to acquire. Yep. So, yep. Let's see. Jason says I bought Strat yesterday. I owned every season from 20 to. Oh, that's nice. And becoming habit, you play Action PC Baseball more. I started to play Action PC Baseball. I did. I started to really like that again. So I do like the Action PC Baseball. And let's see, you have to own every. Yeah, I'm the same way. I have this obsessive compulsion about collecting the whole set. I don't have all the hockey and I don't have all the football, but I have a good solid 20 or 30 years with Action PC of hockey and football. Baseball, I think I got 70s and 80s because that's all I would really play. But yeah, I like to have them all. I like to be able to go and play. And I know you can go buy a season anytime with Action PC, but it's nice just to have them. Have I tried Pro Table Games Hockey? No, I haven't even heard of that one, David. Pro Table Games Hockey. That one I don't know of. And sorry, I'm just having my my tea here as I try to do that. So I'm bouncing around here on my messages. The Sports Time Machine is here. Good to see you here. As he jumps in to say hi. And let's see. Red Fan Rod. I heard Dave. Yeah, David. I already know the stats. I bought a carded season to read the ratings and the games creator made, especially defensive rating basketball games. I was enjoying Strat basketball. In fact, I got the I don't know, it was 84, 85 or 85, 86 Celtics season. One of the listeners of the show sent it to me, and I haven't played it yet. And it's too bad because I love playing it. I really did. In fact, I have an older season, but it's not compatible with the new rules, so I kind of fudged a way to play it. But I was enjoying the Strat cards and dice basketball. The only thing was, I don't know enough about like double coverage and stuff like that. So I was like, oh boy, you know. And let's see what else we got going on in here. Jerry Ball, nothing better than tabletop baseball games. Take care of everybody. Roll on. Yeah, yep. I've been playing a lot of baseball. I've been enjoying it. And again, I'm this close, this close to picking up the Strat PC baseball. Bears Den. He's looking at the 1977 Chuck Scrivener. Is that how I say it? Scrivener's Detroit Tiger Strat card. .083 batting average. That's great. That's great. Excuse me one second. Let me close my window now that the was it 27 degrees out here. It's now starting to get a little cold, but I needed to like I said, somebody turned the heat up down here tonight. It was probably me. And I was getting kind of hot. So I cooled it down a little bit. Basically rolled the window down, you know. And 1968 Roy Oler Bearden. But on says, I have all the seasons in games and I'm old, still not enough time. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. That, you know, that I don't have enough. So, but I like I said, I do, I kind of, like I said, I want to get the stuff now while I can buy the stuff. And then one day when I can't, it's like, okay, now I got to play the stuff here. But again, I can't get back to why do we keep buying new games and new seasons? I don't know. It's fun. It's a hobby. It's a collectible thing. It's what we do as a group, you know, with the hobby. So, I guess, you know, then you see someone playing a game that you don't have and you want to go give it a try. I guess that's what it is with me is I see someone play a game, no matter what it is, basketball, football, hockey, you know, cricket, whatever. It's like, you know, I want to go and I want to give this game a try. I want to see if this is for me because there's so many games that initially I was like, I don't want to play that. And then I play and it's like, wow, this is really fun. What was I thinking, you know? Jack Thompson is in the chat room. I've been playing OT baseball, managing the Yankees starting from 1921. Oh, that must be a blast. And you're currently at 1960. Without them having all those seasons for the purchase price, I never would have done this. Yeah. And OOTP, I think they do a good job of rolling the seasons over, right? Because I did that with hockey. Excuse me, as I would play a team and go into the next season and see if I can make them better. Now, Jack, what were you doing? How many of those games did you play? Were you just managing, or did you actually play the game out, the 9-inning game? Or were you just kind of managing them and simming the games or simming a week at a time? I'm interested to see because you've played now, 39 seasons it looks like, right? So I'm wondering how you actually did that with OTP. What was your play structure like to play those 39 or 40 seasons? Bears Den. I was thinking of using him for a whole season, seeing what his stats would be. Going back to Rob Deere would be immortal now. Yes, he might be. Where are we now? And David, that's why I stay away from the advanced strat. The few times I played it, I don't want to make decisions on who should drive and all that crazy stuff. Basic strat takes it out of the equation. I enjoy basic strat. I've played a little bit of the advanced. It was a little advanced, you know, like it should have been. The PC game, I guess you can play advanced. I don't want to play the super advanced. That's what I don't want to do. Super advanced for me is a little too super, if you will, you know. So, and let's see what else is going on here. Just kind of buzzing around here in the chat room and seeing what's going on. Let's see. But yeah, so I'm on the fence about that. I almost picked it up tonight. But I was just tired from work today, so I didn't pick up the Strat PC baseball. So maybe this week, I'm doing an extra job tomorrow night. In fact, I'm roughing and scorekeeping tomorrow night. Not sure how I'm going to pull that off, but that's what's gonna happen tomorrow night. So maybe that'll be enough for me to pick up the game. Oh, the Shrivnikov is the butt of many jokes. Okay. Imagine Scrivener. Okay, I don't know who he was, but he must be kind of funny, you know. Yeah, okay. Your wife has a crazy amount of yarn. She never makes a hat out of it. If she has 200, that's a good thing too. Yeah, my wife, she's got her own things, you know, whether it's shoes or some kind of jewelry she gets, not the fancy stuff, but she buys like stuff from local people and. She has a whole bunch of stuff. I looked in her closet. She's got like a whole bunch of jewelry hanging up, and it's not the expense. Again, it's the $5 and $10 stuff. It's the cosmetic stuff. But she's got a ton of it. I'm like, hey, if you spent a few $100s on this over time and you enjoyed it, and it again, we don't have to sell the house, we don't have to sell the car, we're not going hungry. Then if you enjoyed it, then good for you. And this is my hobby too. John Vukovic was another legendary player. 161, but had a season or two rated third base, one in Strat for Philly and Milwaukee. I think I've heard of Vukovic. I think I did. Okay, so getting back to Jack, you sim through August, see where they are, and play the rest of the season. Okay, that's a good way to do it. So you'll sim April to August, and then play it out the pennant race. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, that's a good way to do that. Have I considered trying to redo the 1899 Cleveland Spiders? Yeah, I probably should. This is one of those when I need to go back and revisit the game and give it a second chance. Because if you remember, I tried to play the Spiders on Action PC and that baseball, and that's before I really knew how to play it. And I don't know anything about 1899 baseball, and it stopped being fun. Because it seemed like they ran on every pitch, and there was at the one time there was a glitch for stealing in that game. So I thought I was getting the glitch, but then somebody said no, they might be running on the Spiders on every play because the Spiders were that bad. So I need to go back but what I might do now that I'm playing just offense, I just bat now in Action PC. It might be fun to play those games where I'm not the Spiders. I will play the Spiders games, but I won't be the Spiders, and that way I can just kind of watch the game play out, and that might be more fun rather than losing a bunch of games. And I lost a game on a walk-off pass ball, and so the Spiders found ways to lose. It was fun for a while. Then I just got aggravated. I really did. I just got aggravated with that replay. But now that I played more Action PC baseball, I could probably do a better job with it, and especially if I just play both offenses, I think I could enjoy it more and just kind of sit back and broadcast it, so to speak. So, yeah, I have considered that. The reason you play Strat PC Baseball, it does all the super advanced calculations. You don't have to think. Yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna probably play advanced first just so I can get my feet with it because I like the basic Strat. I wish you could play basic in that. And I know that's stupid because it's, the hardcore guys really play it and you want the super advanced. I get all that. Like, I don't play basic hockey in Strat. Once I played advanced hockey, there was no going back to basic. It's just, the basic was just too basic. It got my feet wet and that was fun. And I had some fun in the few games I played. But once I went to advanced, it was just so much better. But probably because I know hockey more than baseball, it probably was an easier transition from basic to advanced. But I like the fact that you can just play advanced from what I'm told in Strat PC Baseball. So that's something I would do. And maybe I would work my way up to super advanced at some point. Oh, let's see here, David. I'd like to see the subject on how people keep computer games from being click fests. Yep. I have a hard time taking the game seriously. My brain is not wired for computer. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. That's what I thought Inside the Crease was going to be a click fest. It was just whack-a-mole. Okay, click on the light, And then I kind of realized that it really wasn't that way. It was telling you, okay, there's a battle between two guys. Here are the two guys. You figure out which one wins the battle. And then I realized you could click on anything in the game. I was like, okay, so it's not just click on the light and follow the light. It's the light's just kind of guiding you to what you should be looking at to speed up the game. And so I was like, okay, that's not too bad. So now it's a little bit of a click fest because you're instead of flipping a card, you're clicking on the card, and it's the game's flipping the card for you, and you're reading about it, but you're following along, and I enjoy that. And even the inside blitz, it's like click on it. Okay, here's the play. Here's the dice roll. Oh, it's a completed pass to this guy for 10 yards. And I kind of like this. Sometimes I like a hands-off approach. I don't want to have to be making all the decisions. So sometimes for me, I'm okay with a click fest because I'm watching it unfold. I'm watching the story unfold in front of me, and I don't necessarily have to be the one guiding that ship. I can kind of enjoy. Again, the broadcaster in me likes the handoff approach a lot when I play my games. I like to watch the games unfold and tell you what's happening and describe the game, and this is the story that's unfolding in front of all of our eyes. And that's how I like to do it. Let's see, PJet here. Yes, I did hear they had a Spiders team for History Maker Baseball. I did hear that. I had a hard time with that one there. For me, because there was a lot to remember, and I felt like you really needed to know baseball, have a good grasp of baseball to play that game. And to me, it didn't click. And again, I'm not getting rid of it, not selling it, but it's one of those that I need to revisit because it just didn't click the first time for me. And I like the idea of not having to make decisions for both teams. Well, again, there's two ways to play. I mean, you can manage one team and let the computer handle the other one, or you can sit back and just kind of let it all unfold in front of you. And there's fun to be had with both. And there's times I like to sit back and just click and watch the game, and there's other times that I want to be involved in it. I want to see, can I do this? If I shuffle my lines or change the pitcher or change the batting order or play football and call a different play, how will I do? So there's two ways to play that, and it depends what mood I'm in, is which one I play. And David says some of my favorite has been the bad Tiger teams. There's no pressure to match a great season. Yep. Like I say, I like to play the 76 Buccaneers, and if you get one win, it's a success, right? One win for those Buccaneers, and it's a success. So, it is. I have not played data-driven football. It's a computer version of PayDirt. You can play it in 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, no, I have not. I've seen those games. I've seen, pictures of them, but I've not played that one there. And the closest you came to enjoying a computer game is 2nd and 10 football. Yeah, that's a good one. It's, I had time learning that one. Someone had to walk me through that. I couldn't figure it out. But, once it's okay, click on this guy for a short pass or this guy for an outside run. Then I was like, okay, you just do the one click in the play calls, and then you let the defense call the play. And, yeah, 2nd and 10 is kind of cool. The thing about a game like Inside Blitz, in fact, a lot of the inside sports games, especially Inside Blitz football, is I watch people play the cards and dice version. I'm just like, nope. Nope, I could not do that. And even the inside pitch, and I know Robert RGL does a fantastic job with that. I'm looking at that, and I'm like, nope, just so many things to remember and, put through your head and, adjusting on the fly, and you got to know all that stuff. And to me, when I get a game like that and I have to remember all this extra, so you look at the card. That's the great thing about computer games. A lot of times, the computer games will take the card and make the adjustment for you. And that's what I like. Like in the Inside the Crease hockey, the face-off comes, and it'll say +5. Well, +5 goes to the guy with the less number, and it adds it. And so you don't have to do the math. It's there for you. Whereas if you're playing the game, then you got to sit down and say, okay, which guy gets this +5 here, and I guess that's part of the fun with it. But sometimes it's nice when the computer does the heavy lifting, like especially with the football game. is, calling the play. It's like I tried to follow that and I just couldn't follow it. I was like, oh man, I can't follow this. I'll let the computer call it and I'll just enjoy the rest of it. All righty, thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah, I'm going to be jumping off shortly. I just wanted to come on and just talk about this. Just this kind of popped into my head tonight. Again, just why do we keep buying games when we have so many of them? Why do I want more seasons? And I think you just part of it. You got to reward yourself. A lot of us work, and we're working really hard and just whatever. And so once in a while, it's nice to reward yourself with a new game or a new season. It just and there's nothing wrong with the seasons that you got, but sometimes just to get something new and like as far as collecting, it's really neat. Let's see my thoughts on FHM. Hang on one second, Jack. Boy, I tell you, tea with honey is magic to get your voice back. If you ever lose your voice, I just had the tea with some honey and my voice came back, or it's better. Franchise Hockey Manager. There's fun to be had in Franchise Hockey Manager. For the longest time, Franchise Hockey Manager 2, which again was, 6 years ago now, was my most played game on Steam. Franchise Hockey Manager 2. I enjoyed 3. 4 and 5 I didn't like. 4 and 5, Franchise Hockey Manager, I did not like at all. And they kind of admit that they went off the deep end with that and made it really difficult. So then they scaled it back. 6 was better. 7 was even better. Now they're on 8. I haven't played 8 yet. There's fun to be had with Franchise Hockey Manager. One of the favorite things I like to do is drop everybody into a pool and do a fantasy draft. Pick my team, set up my team, and then sim the season and see how my team does. Inevitably, I'm in last place. But it's still fun, picking those teams with the fantasy draft and just having Tony Esposito on the Seals with Bobby Orr. I mean that's just pure fantasy fun right there. So I tend to do most of that with Franchise Hockey Manager. I also like the random debut when you do that for a fantasy draft where you can have anybody at a certain age in the draft. That's really fun. So you can have a 30-year-old Ken Dryden and a 25-year-old Patrice Bergeron, because that means they started at different times. It's all random. That's a fun way to play too. So when I play Franchise Hockey Manager, I mostly do the fantasy draft and then let it play out. I've tried to take teams and do something with them, and I have a real hard time. Again, it's like sitting in the cockpit of a plane. There's so many buttons and levers and lights. It's like I don't know which one to push and what these even do. So for me, I've never learned the game properly. I did take a WHA team. I think it was the New England Whalers, and I did win the Avco Cup one time with Franchise Hockey Manager by managing a team. But most of the time, I started going into losing streaks, and most of the time I just hit AI setup team, and the team did better. So I have my fun with Franchise Hockey Manager, but I have no clue how to make my team better. And I've watched all the videos, and I watched Jeff and Adam play all those Franchise Hockey Manager videos at Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. And for the life of me, I see them do it, and they do really, and I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I kept telling them they need a help system for people like me who want to play the game but are getting their butts kicked. And it's just like, give me some feedback. What am I doing wrong? Is there something I could change to make the team better? Is there somebody out of position? Is there somebody in a different role? And they don't want to build that into the game because they don't have the resources, and I get it. And they said, oh, just ask questions on the forum. Boy, I'd have a lot of questions. And you need those answers right away. So if you're playing and your team's not doing good, I want to know why right now. I don't want to say, well, let me pause the game, put a message on the forum, and check back in a few hours or a few days to see. You need to know right now. My team's on a 10-game losing streak. Why? I need a pop-up to come up and say, you're playing the goalie too much, or this guy's not happy at left wing, or, try moving this guy up a line, or call somebody from the mind, anything at all to give you some kind of a hint of like what direction to go in. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. You've been playing the Summit Series from '72. Yeah, I enjoy playing that as well. I think they finally fixed that. Before you couldn't do it. You had to play 72 or 71, 7. No, yeah, you had to play 70 one of those seasons and then like just fall into it. You couldn't just play it. Now I think you can just play it. So it was really weird how they did it before. Jim, I like learning new game engines and seeing what each one has to offer. Each game has its strengths and weaknesses. Once I learn a game, I look around and say, I'm the same way. I like to see game engines. I like to see how they work. I like to see, because there's always something that like, boy, I like this game, but I like how this game does this. And I like how this game does this. And I like how this game does this. And that's why I play different games, is I will play, my favorite game, but then something else does something different. It's like, well, I play this game because I like how this feels. And then I play this game because I like how this feels. And that's why, yeah, you're right. I think that's why we keep buying games, because we want to try new things. We want to see how it ticks. We want to see how this game plays. What kind of fun can be had in this game, and things like that. Sometimes it's, is a game is going to take me an hour to play this game? Or is there a game that I can play that'll take me 20 minutes so I can get in 3 games a night instead of 1? Things like that. Is a game going to take me a long time to learn? How hard is it? The fun factor. Sometimes you play a game and it might be the most accurate game, but the fun factor is just not there. Just for you personally, it's just not there. And yeah, just getting back to what you said. Yeah. You're looking for the perfect game, and we've talked about that. And you do the same thing with the war games, but it seems like I'm still. Yeah, I think we're all looking for the perfect game. We're looking for that that unicorn that doesn't exist, but we keep searching, because that's half the fun about doing this. And Brad's right. We're all looking for the perfect game. The perfect game, it doesn't exist. But we keep searching, because we think there's something out there. We think the grass is always greener, don't we? We think that, this game come out here, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be unbelievable. We're gonna buy this game here, and this game's gonna be the perfect game. And then we find out, I think when we stop playing games, whatever game it is you play, you like how a game play a certain way that a game plays is late to the party as usual. We're talking about why we keep buying games or playing new games or buying seasons, and when we have all these games here, it just it's not too often a new game. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not too often like a huge game comes out. Usually it's somebody creating a game, or a couple guys creating a game, and it comes out onto the scene, and we want to try it out. But I think we're all looking for that perfect game or something. But again, getting back to my point there, was we all have our favorite game because it does something that we like. Without naming any specific games, but I like how this game does this. That's why I play a lot of this. And this other game's fun, but it doesn't do this as good as this game, if you follow. So when we try a new game, sometimes it's to see, how does this do compared? Does this fit into what I enjoy in a game? And some games are really close. Like the Pocket Pennant Run and the Appa Baseball. Boy, they have the same type of feel. I don't know why I do. I get the same feel from both of those games, and that's why I like them, because they're kind of down this path right here, and I'm comfortable in that path, and I like that path. And there's other games that are over on this path, and I have a real hard time with that path. And this path is more comfortable for me. So when a game comes out that kind of fits this path here, I really kind of like it. That game that I just unboxed, the Basketball Legends game that just come out, that had some similar feels to it, with the rolling of the two 10-sided dice. You get it, from 1 to 100 to see what's going to happen. There's a little chart that goes from 1 to 100. It's going to be a shot. It's going to be a foul. It's going to be a turnover. And that was very familiar. That was kind of down this path here that I've played other games at. And for me, that kind of clicked for me, because I was like, oh, I do like that. Now, I had to get used to all the little cubes and the chips that they had that you would spend to adjust the roll. So that was one thing I have to get used to. But the 1 to 100 roll, that was familiar territory. So I had an established ground point. I was orientated with that, so that made that game kind of good. But sometimes you play a game that's completely off the wall, that does something completely different, and sometimes you like it, and sometimes you don't. And I get it's all kind of personal preference. But I think that's why we keep buying new games and trying new games, because you never know what you're going to find. And there's been so many games that I saw people playing on YouTube that I didn't think I would like. And when I finally played it and I got it in my hands or I got it on my computer, I really, really liked it. I get crap all the time that I have too many games. Well, if I went freeze, no more games, and just played what I got, I wouldn't find any new games, right? That's how you find new games, is playing new games. And maybe, if I didn't play Apple Hockey, if I just stuck with Strat and Shootout and, what Hockey Blast, whatever, and, 100 other hockey games I have. But if I didn't try Apple Hockey, I might, I love Apple Hockey now. But if I never went back to it, if I just said, no, I get too many games, I'm going to play, same thing with Apple Baseball. I went back to Apple Baseball. It's like, I have plenty of baseball games, but I found a game and so you never know. You might try a game, whether it's a bigger game or a smaller game, and like, wow, I really like this. And if I took the attitude that I have too many games and I don't want any more games, you wouldn't find a new game that you would enjoy. Kind of like if we go back to the restaurants. If you found a restaurant that's like, boy, I don't really eat this kind of food, and you went in and you're like, when you said, nope, I don't eat that type of food. I like this, and this. And then you went into this place and tried something completely different. Wow, this is really good. This is going to be my new stop here. Every couple of weeks, it's going to be our go-to place. You never would have found that place if you just shut it down. Let's see here, Jim. I watch YouTubers like Dave and see the games he played, find different things I like. Finally, break down order, try it for myself. No perfect game, but fun search. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And sometimes I see a game and I think I'm going to like it, and I don't. And there's other times that, like I said, I've said, no, I won't like this game at all, but it goes on sale and I got to try it, and I try it. It's like, wow, this is a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. Bears Den, when you got here? Playing the 73 season Super Advanced Strat. They have day-night ballpark ratings. They even put night ratings at Wrigley Field. Interesting about that. Jeffrey, thanks for the Apple Hockey videos, and I'll play in the regular. Yeah, you're welcome. I need to do more. It's just, when I set up Apple Hockey, it's a half hour to 45 minutes for me to set it up to broadcast, not to play it. To play it, I could probably set it up in 5 or 10 minutes when I get all my boards out so I can play it. But if I want to stream it or record it, it takes a while to get all the cameras ready and the lights and the whole bit. It's quite the procedure. So I haven't done. I want to do a nice slow Apple Hockey video and show you how I play it, because I did some videos on clarifying the instructions. I really wish I could write the instructions completely over for that hockey game, because that's a great game, but people are scared off because of the rule book. Let's just call it what it is. The rule book is all over the place. It's almost like they wrote it in all these different parts and mashed it together, because there's no consistency on how some of it reads. It needs a table of contents. Like, what is a penalty shot? You need to be able to go and find penalty shot, and you got to dig really hard to find out what the penalty shot is. It's almost like, for penalty shot, go back and review this. That's the penalty shot procedure. No, you want to write out what a penalty shot is. The penalties, finding who got the penalty, you could literally be there. The way I interpret the rules, you could be all night rolling dice to get a minor penalty if you don't roll a certain number, because you got to go through all the guys to try to find it. You literally could be sitting there rolling dice until you finally get a number that's within the range. So that guy to come up with the penalties, how to find penalties, it's one roll, done. It's a thing of beauty. So there's so many things that that you really got to fix in Apple Hockey. But Jeffrey, thank you. I love it, and I got to get a nice gameplay video going for that. Let's see. David Others kept me from throwing away on some games that I was close to buying. Well, I mean, yeah, but the thing is, you never know, Brad. That's the thing is, you might watch one of my videos and say, oh, man, I'm going to hate that game. Because I've done that. I've watched people play games like, I can't, I'm not going to like that game at all. And then I watch somebody else play it, and maybe they play it a little bit different, and they do something. It's like, then you start to, let me see them, man. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to try it out. I'll spend the $10, $20, $30, $40, and I'll get a season, and I'll play it. And then then you get it in your hands. And sometimes when you have it in your hands, that's the only time you can really figure out if you like it. Yeah, but, there are times that you can probably look... Sometimes you can look at a game, yeah, that's not for me, But sometimes if you actually play it, take the time with it and play it, sometimes these games, they're the first impression is not necessarily the correct one, because once you play it, it's like, oh wow, this is good. Some games are better. When I played History Maker Golf, I knew I was going to like it after watching the videos, but when I played it, I loved it. So that game went from a like to a love just by playing it. There's other games that I was just like neutral on, and I played it, and I went from neutral to a like or neutral to a love. And I'm trying to think if there's any games that I saw that I thought I would like and I didn't. I don't think I've ever gone backwards like that. I don't think there's ever been a game that I said, oh, this is going to be great, and then I didn't like it. Because I kind of, again, we talked about, you have a certain game procedure that you like. That's why you have certain games. And so if I see something that's way outside the norm, I might be like, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to like it. So a lot of times I'll try it, but I don't think I'm going to like it. So I don't think there's been too many times where I thought I was going to like a game, and then it was like, nope, I don't like it at all. So I see David. I bought Fall Classic Baseball because of the videos I saw in the game. I ended up enjoying it, and now it's my number 2 baseball game right behind Replay Baseball, particularly classic. Yeah, and that's and if you never tried it, if you never saw the videos, and you said, well, I don't want to try it, you never know. Sometimes watching, and that's the hard thing that we have here. If someone's done videos, it's really hard sometimes to show this game off because you're just kind of watching me do it. You're not doing it. And there's a big difference between watching somebody play and then you playing. And that goes for anything. It's like I've watched a ton of videos on other games, not even sports games, some other games. And I'm like, wow, I'm not interested. But I imagine if I sat at the table and these people showed me how to play it, I'd have an absolute blast playing the game. So sometimes the videos are good, but sometimes the videos just don't do it justice because it's so hard to show off the game, and sometimes it's to get the feel of the game. And sometimes we do. Sometimes, people out here on YouTube, they play a game and they're loving it, and the emotion's there, and you can feel the excitement in their voice and when they're playing a game, and you're like, wow, this game's really good. And other times you can't get that emotion by watching a video. So it's really kind of hard to show off a game sometimes. You almost have to play it. So I use the YouTube videos to get an idea what it looks like to get me off the ground so I'm not coming in cold. So I'll watch somebody play a game. I'll get the game. Okay, I have an idea on what to do. And then you play the game when you finally get it on you in your hands. So I use the videos as a guide. And once in a while I will see a game, or maybe I'll look at one of the cards or the computer screen. And I'm just like, there's a couple games that use Excel and they're really busy. And I look at those games and it's like, oh yeah, no, that's not for me. That's too busy. And I did that with video games because as I get old, as I transform from video games to the games that we play now, there'd be this new game come out and, hey, you want to try a new game? Here's a code for a new video game. And I would click on the trailer and the screen would be going nuts and there's spaceships and aliens and you're shooting this and you're beaming up over here. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to try that game. It is too fast. There's 100 things going on. To me, it's too busy. It's not a game I would want to play. And sometimes I do that with the cards and dice. I'll see a game, and it's like, boy, that's a busy card, that's a busy screen, or oh boy, I'm not sure if I'm gonna really, really be able to figure this out. And that's the other thing. I want to be able to play the game. And if I look at it, it's like, oh man, I don't know if I can play this one here. So anyway, let's see, Dave, what else you got here? It's funny because there are games that get ripped, and that's actually gets me to give it a whirl. Yeah, I can see that. Some games, they get a bad rap, but you want to see what it's all about. Sometimes you want to see the train wreck. If it is indeed a train wreck, and a lot of times they're not. A lot of times, there's good in every game. I don't think there's one game I played that I could say was completely horrible. There's a couple that I felt were unfinished. There was a golf game I played that, if I read the instructions correctly, in theory, there's a chance you could never finish a hole. If you just kept rolling and chipping over the green, that could happen infinitesimally, if that's even a word. That could go on forever unless you rolled a certain dice number to get it on the green, which makes no sense because if you're playing, a professional golfer, you can chip over the green once, maybe twice, but after that, you're chipping on safe, and now you're putting. And in that game there, you could keep, as far as I could tell, you could keep rolling, and if you were rolling, low or high, whatever it was, you just keep going back and forth over the green. And it's like, that is just, that one game. Most of that golf game was fun, but that one thing there, I was like, wow, it was too many little things like that drove me nuts. But yeah, I like to try the crazy games too once in a while, just to see what it's all about. Hockey Unreal, what do you got here? The shiny new toy Jolt, anticipating and making the purchase never gets old. Matt Holberg. Yes, yeah, we were talking about that. It's just the idea. A lot of us were working, maybe working multiple jobs. I work nights, weekends. I work some crazy hours, and it's like you want to think that that you're gonna get that shiny new toy. You're gonna try something new. Again, a lot of us here. Let's face it. A lot of us here, when we sit down and play these games, we're back to 10, 11, 12 years old. We're playing our favorite season. A lot of times it's an older season. So, we get the whole Christmas thing, opening presents thing. That's where we get with this thing. And you get all excited about ordering a new season or ordering a new game or waiting for it to come in the mail or getting the PDF and printing it out or, whatever it is. There is an excitement. Like I said, the shiny new toy. It is an excitement. The idea of buying something, spending your money on something that you enjoy. It's not like, I got to fix the car or, I got to pay a bill. It's like I can spend it on something I enjoy doing. And that's what it is. As P-Jet chimes in again. It's almost like seeing someone in concert. You almost always appreciate the artist when you see them live. Even if you didn't like. Yeah, like I said, I don't think I've ever gone to a bad concert. And there's some bands that I like, especially opening bands, and I'm like, wow, I would never go see this band on my own, but I kind of did enjoy the show. And how many times, that's a great point, David, because how many times have you gone to a show or your friends have gone to a show and that was the best show ever, right? Every concert you go to is the best show ever. And that's a good way of putting it there. It's like when you see something live and you're there in person, it's so much better than, watching on video or, some people take their phones and film a song and you can watch a song. But when you're there and you get the energy of it and you get the crowd and you see them live, that's kind of what this is here. It's a great way of putting it. When you watch a YouTube video, you're not there. And when you're there, it's so much better. Even like when you watch games on TV, you watch, football, or hockey, or baseball, whatever it is. If you're at the stadium, it's way different than sitting home. When you're at the stadium and the crowd's on its feet and they're rushing the puck up the ice and it's like, oh, you hear the crowd building up and then the shot, or the shot, yay. You don't get that same feeling at home. You get it a little bit, if you get some people over, but if you're at the rink or the stadium or whatever it is so much better. And I think that's what it is with the YouTube stuff. Is we really try to give you an idea what the game looks like. Sometimes we just play it, and it's not about showing it off. It's just playing it for our enjoyment. And I think I like to have a balance between showing how to play the game and then just playing it. Because sometimes you wanted to see somebody play it. You don't want to be sitting there and okay, this is how you do all that. Yeah, I like that there. Walk me through it. I get it. But at some point, you just want to see somebody play it, see how they play it. And because, I've watched so many videos and it's like, ooh, I like how he does that. And I like how he does this. And I'm going to incorporate that into my setup or my game. And so you don't get that when someone's constantly just trying to show you a game. So just play the game. Let me see how you do it. Oh, I like that. I'm going to steal your scoreboard, or I'm going to steal your setup here, or whatever. Like the little dice trays that I picked up there. They're beautiful. That Daniel Forcier made me. I use them, and people are ordering from it because it's like they see that setup and they want that setup, and so we share things with each other. That's what we do. We had retro replays come in here. Thank you for stopping by. I can get some live music that would normally sit around, that you wouldn't normally sit around. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like sometimes you go to a place and there's a house band playing, and they'll be playing some corny stuff, and it's just like, I would never put this on my playlist. I would never listen to this in the car, but if they're playing it there, you get caught up in it. You really do. You just get caught up in the live music. So yeah, I get that. Fan of my new favorite West's Conference team. Nice. PJ, what do you got here? It's relaxing to play a video of someone playing a game. Sometimes just listening while doing this and not looking. Yeah, I will do that. I'll go to bed at night, and if someone's playing a game, or maybe I'll go and check a replay of a game, I'll just have it on. I'll have YouTube just playing the audio, and I'll just have it at night. Or sometimes, like when I'm playing a cards and dice game, like whether it's here or Studio C, I'll have the iPad on with somebody playing a game on YouTube, and I use it kind of just background noise while I'm playing my game. So it's almost like like putting on the ball game at night, and just listen to the ball game on the radio. It's kind of the same thing, and I enjoy that because that's basically what it is. Sometimes there's not a lot to look at. Let's face it, it's not like watching a game on TV. Excuse me, what we do. But it is, you do get the feel is that, you're listening to an actual game sometimes, and it's kind of fun. And you do that. And I go to bed all the time listening to some people on YouTube, especially if it's a game I'm just starting to play. Like I've been playing like the APBA baseball and the Pocket Pennant Run. So I'll find someone that plays a game of that, and I'll listen to that while I'm in bed, or maybe I'm washing dishes or something upstairs, and I'll have it on. And like I said, I like to hear how they do the game, and make sure I'm playing it right, or if they run into anything that I can learn from in the whole bit. But it is very, very relaxing. And what Florida did yesterday, I liked them, but I was rooting for Minnesota the whole way. I'm not sure what happened with Minnesota and Florida. I maybe I didn't miss that. Maybe I missed it. Let's see here. You don't want a modern ball game on in the background, but if someone's playing 60s baseball or 70s hockey, it's familiar. Yeah. Yep. Like I say, I don't, like I say, once in a while, when I was a kid, I used to listen to baseball. Because I remember spending nights at my grandparents' house in the summer, and they had a little AM radio, and I'd go to bed and have the Sox game on or something, especially if they're on the West Coast. And it was relaxing. Just, you hear a little bit of the crowd noise, and then here comes the pitch, and you hear it hit the glove, or you hear it hit the bat. There was something soothing about that as a kid. Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of mods, but once in a while I will, even with hockey. I think last night or the night before I went to bed, and I had the Kings and the Las Vegas Knights on. And I just I'll put it on, listen to third period. And I fell asleep with it on. But it was just kind of, I like listening to the hockey games and the baseball games. But you're right, it is kind of relaxing there. Anyway, so why, again, I keep asking, why do we keep buying these games? Why, and I think we've all answered the question. Why do we do it? Because we want to try different games. Because if you don't try different games, you might find the next hidden gem. You might find something that just blows you away. And you're like, this is awesome. And if you didn't try it because you have too many games, then you wouldn't find this awesome game. So that's why I like to play the new games. And again, sometimes you find something that does something a little different, and it's almost like a palate cleanser, so to speak. You find something that's, okay, this is fun, and it's very different. And I don't see myself playing a lot of it, but I will absolutely play it once in a while to shake things up. And then you never know. Maybe you play it. And it's like, geez, I have it all set up. I might play a couple of games. And I did that. One time I went upstairs and I played Strat hockey because I was like, I want to play some Strat hockey games. And I took the Bruins on a West Coast road trip in 72, I think it was. I think I started with Detroit, and then I did L.A., California, Vancouver, and there was one other team I came back on the road trip. So I did just a pretend road trip with them, and I think they went 4-2. They lost. I think they tied the Canucks. They tied the Canucks, and they struggled with the Seals, and they think they lost the game on the road trip too. So they didn't crush everybody, but it was just in my own mind. I sat there one night and played 4 or 5 games. I don't even know if I kept the stats. I just kept the score, and I just did a fake road trip, and it was just so fun just to do that. It really was. And let's see here. And we have more games available than ever. You're absolutely right. We keep talking about the golden age of gaming. I mean, you look, every time I turn around, I find a new game of some kind that I can try out. And again, we're not talking, about the huge ones, but there's still a ton of baseball games that I haven't played. There's a handful of hockey games that either I haven't played or I haven't played a lot of that I should go back and play. I'm looking over here right now. I still get one of the very first games I ever played, Everyday Hockey Player. I bought a season, and I started to play that, and I never really did much with it. But it was kind of fun, so I want to go back and play that. That was one of the very, very first. That was before we even started the show. So that was 2.5 years ago, and I haven't gone back to that. But that's sitting over here. So that technically would be a new game for me because I haven't played it yet, even though I bought it. I'm looking over here. I got a Pine Tar I bought, and I played a little bit of Pine. I did like Pine Tar. I just wish they had more seasons. It's like the Replay Gamer was talking about today. It's hard to invest in a game when they don't have a lot of seasons or a lot of seasons that you want to play. And so Pine Tar is more one of those games that you want to take a best of versus a best of and play those. Me, I prefer to play teams in the same season. I mean, someday I want to play the 80 this and the 70 this or the 50 this and the whatever. But for right now, I like to play teams in the same season. I've always liked the odd games, as you know. So for me, I don't need to play the best against the best. I like to sometimes play the best against the worst, or the medium, or the expansion team. It just I like to play different things from time to time, as you know. I actually pulled out Mike's wrestling game the other day, and I was going to try to stream that. And I tried to set up the Excel for that. It just wasn't working too well, so I put it away. But I did pull out the wrestling game. So maybe I'll do the cards and dice version of that. It's a lot of charts in that wrestling game. No, is it Chris's wrestling game? What is it? It is Chris's dice wrestling. Chris's dice wrestling over there. And it's all the guys I grew up with. It's like the Samoans and Chief Jay Strongbow and Jimmy Snooker and all those guys. I grew up with that. So, and that's fun. You roll the dice. You see who controls it. You roll the dice. Look at the chart. Does he throw him to the ropes? And it's just like, it's about whittling the guy down is what you're trying to do. And anyway, going back to childhood seasons, I'm about to flip cards for the 63 season when I was minus 20. I mean, when you were 20? Oh, okay, I get it. Minus 20. Okay, I get it. You were 20 years away. I get it. I wasn't around for it, but I think the Peel Hockey Lover meets history buff. Yeah. The one thing I tend to have my wheelhouse, as we all do, and there's a lot of guys here that love playing like 40s and 50s and 60s, and not everybody was born at that time. So you're playing. Again, you're negative 20 years old. I wasn't even born in that when that season happened. And so you go back and you play for the history of it, because these are guys that you never saw play, and sometimes there's not a lot of footage of these guys. And I give credit to the people that do that, to go back and play something that was way before they were born, because it's, for me, like I said, I like the familiarity of the players that I grew up watching. But once in a while, I do like to go back and play like a 60s hockey game. It's like some of these guys I know, I remember some of them, but some of them I don't. And there is some kind of fun in that. But the guys that do that all the time, like, oh, I'm going to play 49 baseball, or I'm going to play, like you were saying, 63 hockey. I don't know much about those at all. And I give people credit that want to go back and play those. Let's see. Brett, I like Pine Tar as well. Because of limited season, I made up my own team using Little League Ross, and now we play the rest of the MLB. I wish they had more seasons. I got the 82 and was it 71 or something like that? They had 170 season, 180 season, so I got them both. And I played a little bit of 82, and it works out well. What I like about it is it's one page on the chart. I think it's one chart thing, or one page of charts. And everything's right there. I think that's another one that tells you exactly what happens on the base paths. So there's not a lot of looking up and cross-referencing. It's like, here's what happened. And I like that in a baseball game. I like it nice and simple. Jim, how many pennants do I have? You got the ones flying behind you, the Flames and the Giants. Yeah, I decided to put Atlanta and Atlanta together, and then San Francisco and San Francisco together tonight. I don't know how many I got, 40, maybe 30 or 40. Every now and then I go to a flea market and I find some beat-up pennants and I grab them, or I go on eBay and somebody will have a team that I don't have for cheap money, and I'll pick it up. So I like to rotate the pennants behind me. I was going to get a green screen and do it, but this actually works out well. I can show off my APA cards over here, my other games on the shelf, and then some pennants behind me that I can always change up and whatever. RJL is here. We were talking about you earlier in Inside Pitch, how you are the master at Inside Pitch. But anyway, so yeah, we were just talking about this. Why do we keep buying games? Why do we keep buying seasons? Why do we do the stuff here? And it's a fun discussion to have. And everyone here, boy, you guys have brought some really good answers. Stuff I didn't even think about, quite honestly. But it all kind of fits. And every answer here has been a good one. That we buy these games for different reasons. And we just enjoy it. Sometimes you have to buy something new just to treat yourself. Sometimes it's to try a new game. Sometimes it's just because we collect them. It's fun. It's just fun collecting. And again, none of these things really break the bank. It was somebody earlier. Was it David earlier that says, nothing he's bought is going to force him out of his house. Even if I buy the Strat PC and it costs me, a season in the game is going to cost me $95 or something like that. It's not like I got to move out of the house, because if I did, then I wouldn't buy it. That's the way we do it. You got your copy of 1986 arriving next week. I wonder if I should pick that up. I'm probably going to get the PC game. And I might get 86 because I want to play Clemens and see how I do with Clemens, to see because that was his record-breaking year. So I want to see if I can how I do if I play that. I have it in Payoff Pitch, and I played 4 or 5 games with Clemens already. He's given up a home run, if you can believe it. He gave up a home run. I didn't think he would on that card, but he did give up a home run already. I forget who it was too. But again, I went back to Payoff Pitch. I was having problems with it. Maybe because I haven't played in so long, but I just had a hard time getting it to roll the other day. Joseph, you can't stop buying football games. Yeah, football games are fun. You know what the great thing about football games are? Thanks for bringing that up. Is with football games, you have so many different ways to play. You got your quick play football games. Roll couple of dice, get your final score. Some that come to mind, the Downey final score games. I think they got Ultra Quick Football. I think I bought like the 50-year pack for that. Solitaire Pro Football has a quick play chart for each season that's really easy to use. What else is there? Mike Seelock's 2-minute drill is a really fun, fast football game. And these are all just a couple of rolls, you get the final score. So you got your quick play game for football. And then you got your medium play games, the drive-by drive games. You got your fast drive football from Al Wilson. You got your game-winning drive from Downey. You got momentum football from Downey. I think there's one more kind of a drive-by drive game from Downey. I forget. But you got those medium games. So it's not a quick play, but it's not a long play. It's kind of in the middle there. You know, 10, 15, 20 minutes, half hour type of games. And then you got, and you might include second season express from play in that, because you can play a game in 20 minutes with that, I would think. 20 minutes, a half hour. And then you got your monsters. You know, you got the ones that take hour and a half, 2.5 hours to play. You get the second season from play, which is great. And you got fast action football from Downey's, another full play game. Mean Gene football from Downey, I also played a little bit of. That was okay as well. Obviously, Solitaire Pro Football is another full play game. It's another hour and a half slog, if you will. But so that's great thing about football is you got three great tastes that go together. So you can play quickly, you can play medium, and you can play the whole hog. You can go in and do whatever you want with the football. So football games, Joseph, yeah, great, because you have those options. Sometimes, I mean, hockey, you might have those. Obviously, you got the quick play games in hockey. I think shootout hockey would be the closest thing to a medium play game. I can't think of anything else that would be a medium play game. Everything else is kind of a fuller play game. You know, APA, Strat, and Inside the Crease are the three ones that I play full games, and they're definitely not mid-play games. Baseball, I think you kind of, I don't know of any quicker play games. I guess you can play Strat pretty quick. APA plays pretty quick. And then you get your final scores. But I don't know if there's a medium baseball game. I think it's, you know, there could be. I'm not sure. Yes, we have an addiction. Yes, that's what our wife says. We're obsessed. Yes. Yep. And Jim speaks the truth. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Until Stratomac gets the PC games out of DOS 8 is, you're not going to get a copy of that game. Stick with Action PC and OTP. I hear you on that, Robert. Like I said, that's why I haven't got it. That's the only one I haven't got yet. But I do like Strat Baseball, and I like the fact that it'll sim games, so I don't have to play every game. So I could just pick up 86 and play the Clemens games, and that's it. And then maybe play playoffs or something like that. The one thing that Strat does, even though the hockey is, you know, the hockey's probably the worst. It looks like DOS. It really does. Their stats are just unbelievable. And not that Action PC and OTP are not, okay? But as bad as it looks visually, it's you get anything you want for stats. Even the hockey, it's fantastic what you get for stats. So it's not visually pleasing to the eye. It's not eye candy, but if whatever you want for stats is there, it's just insane. And I do wish they would update all of them to look betterer. You know, get up to the replay baseballs, the Action PCs, the OTPs. Get it up to speed. And they might never, and that's fine. So we're just gonna have to enjoy what it is. But I do hear on that. Let's see here. Hockey Unreal. What do you got? Doug Moen just went end-to-end, and Willie won by Glenn Hall, 1-1, Chicago-Boston in the third. All right, so a little update there from 1963. You know what I heard the other day? That was let's get to David here. David, is there one game team that is your all-time favorite to play? Leave that up there. Let me ponder that. One game or team. Well, obviously I'm a big hockey fan, so I enjoy playing anything 70s and 80s with hockey. I could probably play any hockey game 70s and 80s. And I'm trying to think. There's one that sticks out to me. I don't have one in particular. Obviously, I like playing the Bruins. I mean, how can you not like playing Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito? Even, you know, the 80s with Ray Bourque and Cam Neely. I mean, that's just, when I play those, I'm lost in my mind. I'm back in time when I do that there. So, and Dave, thank you for stopping by. Going to make some dinner. Yeah, I'm going to be wrapping up here soon. I just come on to chat tonight and see who wanted to talk, and we got some people looking to talk. So, yes, that's been fun. But is there one game or team? No, I don't. I don't have a favorite game or team. I have games that I play more than others, and I get teams that play more. Like, I love playing As you know, I like the bad teams. So I love playing the California Seals. I love playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they were terrible. Occasionally, I like to play the Detroit Lions that are terrible. I love to play, and a lot of times, that's how I learn a game, is I'll play a good team against a bad team so I can get some goals, so I can see like what a good team looks like and what a bad team looks like. Because when you play two good teams and two bad teams and you're first learning a game, you don't get to see everything. But when you get a good team and a bad team, you can see why this team is good and why this team is bad. So I like to play a very mismatched game when I'm learning stuff, just so I can get a feel of, okay, this is what good looks like, this is what bad looks like. So that's just kind of how I do it there. So no, unfortunately, there's not one that I could rip off on the top of my head. Let's see, Rod, what do you got here? All time need to play cards and dice, 85, 86. Oh yeah, for basketball, that's exactly what it would be. Would be the 85, 86 Celtics for basketball. Yep, that's the one I play the most. I do like some of the old Sixers teams, 76ers. Those are fun to watch. Obviously, anything with Kareem and the Lakers is going to be good too. So yeah, that was my heyday for my basketball window's about this big. My hockey window's like this. My football window's like this. My baseball window's like this. But my basketball window's like that. It's really, really small. Hi, Philip. Good to see you here. 1990 Reds he likes. Yes, he does. Good job there. Let's see. What else we here? Uh-oh. Is it Topazzini sets up another goal? Hicks from Topazzini and Tommy Williams. See, I haven't heard any of these guys. Oh, this is what I wanted. This is what I do. I got sidetracked there. Somebody posted in one. I'm in a ton of hockey groups, on social media, and somebody posted the other day that Gump Worsley spent, was it 10 years with the Rangers, 6 or 7 with the Canadians, and then another 4 with the Minnesota North Stars, right? And they said, how many of you associate Gump Worsley with the Rangers? Oh, man. I had to think about that one. I really did. And he made a good point that Worsley spent most of his time with the Rangers in the 60s. And then he went over the Canadians, won a couple of cups, and then he picked up with the expansion North Stars toward the end for a few seasons. But no, I first recognized Gump with the North Stars because that's when I was becoming a hockey fan. And then I realized he came from the Canadians. I had no idea he played for the Rangers for 10 years. Because, again, you're talking 60s, and, there's a guy here playing 60s hockey right now who knows better than me because I don't play 60s hockey. But, yeah, I don't associate Gump Worsley with the Rangers, and he played with them more than any other team. Funny how that kind of works out. Let's see here. Nolan John, what's going on? Oh, is that a picture of you with a guitar? What kind of guitar you play? I have a couple behind me. You can't see them. My favorite was I liked Ibanez. I was an Ibanez guy back in the 80s. I loved my Ibanez. So what does the Hockey Blast do with individual stats? P-Jet would know that. Acceptable range. He's played a lot of that there. Yeah, you could keep individuals. I don't know if you can keep individual shots on goal, but you definitely get goals and assists and penalties. So you get the big ones. The goalies make saves, but what happens is some of the shots are kind of tacked on, so you don't know who took the shots, so you can't keep that. I don't think there's any block shots that you can keep track of, but you get your major stats in Hockey Blast, I believe. See, Malbridge 20, good to see you stopping by here on a Saturday night. And yes, oh yeah, Bird Magic, yeah, there was some good ones there. And Pete has a topper scored in his latest week in his 06 project. That's good. And another update here. 2-2 now. 2-2 final. What do you guys think about that? Remember when they didn't play overtime in hockey? That was kind of wild. Right now, I don't watch the shootout. By the way, I can't watch the shootout anymore. It was good for about 5 minutes, the shootout, and then I was just like, yeah, that stinks. 3-on-3 overtime's good, and I didn't mind the 5-minute overtime. And I like when everybody got a point because I remember back in the day they first went to overtime, and if you lost, you got no points. So neither team would try. Nobody wanted to lose the point. So it was 5 minutes of boring hockey with one guy racing up and four guys sitting back, and it was dumb. So I liked it now. You don't lose the points, and now it's like, hey, I'm going to jump up in a play. I got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose, everything to gain in overtime. So I do like how they do the overtime, how they changed it there. And let's see. Let's see. 64 Gibson Melody Maker. Ooh, nice. You know what? I never enjoyed playing a Fender Stratocaster. You know what it was? Every time I played, I would hit the volume knob. That's just how they're made and how I played. I played Ibanez's. I have a cheap Jackson that I bought. It's like a Rhodes Jackson. I always wanted a Jackson, and I finally got one when I was, in my 40s, and I just don't play it. I just don't have the time to play it. But I always liked Ibanez. Kramer, I liked. They were very similar, but I could never play a Stratocaster. Never could play I would play it in the store, but then I kept hitting the volume knob. Just where the volume knob was where I played through, and I would always turn off the volume. I played a couple of Gibsons from time to time. I think my friend had a nice Sunburst Gibson Les Paul one time, and he also had a Gibson SG. He had the Tony Iommi Black Sabbath Black SG, so we played that a lot. And that sounded like, when he played through his amp, he sounded like Sabbath. That was kind of cool when he had that. Phillips is finishing U2 Football League tonight with Fast Drive Football. Oh, cool. Fast Drive Football is a fun game. I pulled that. I did my Super Bowl pre-play with Fast Drive. That was one of the 5 games I played with Fast Drive Football. And, you can't track individual shots in Hockey Blast. Yep. And, see the top Zini card? You posted in his head. Yep. Some gun topper. Yeah. Philly had 24 ties one year. Yep, back when they had the ties. Yep. And PJet's got a Telecaster. I don't know if I ever played a Telecaster. It was the Stratocaster that I had a hard time with. I remember I bought 2 Ibanez's one time. I had a nice blue one that I still have. And I bought a red one because when we were playing out, I wanted to have a backup. And they played so different. Like the blue one was like butter. And the red one was like, wow, this is really weird. They were the same brand, the same model, same everything, just different color. So I ended up getting rid of the red one because I was like, man, I never played this one. I just didn't like how it felt, But anyway, so I'm going to wrap this up in a few minutes here. I just wanted to jump on and say hi. I didn't think I'd be going this long, but then when you get a good chat going, you get a good chat going. You want to keep things playing here. So, I just wanted to talk to you guys about, me thinking about getting Strat PC baseball, just another game. But again, everyone's playing it. I want to play it too. I mean, that gets us where we are. We see someone play a game. We want to give it a try. And, we want to get a new season, something like that. What I'm thankful for, one thing I am thankful for is, thanks PJet here. I had a great time talking to you guys. I really did. I had a tough night last night, tough day today. I scored 2 goals today playing hockey, but I'm tired today. But and we had that hockey fans. Oh, that sucks. Yep, that's too bad. I see Lenny McDonald's mustache. Yeah. So, anyway, but. Yeah, so it's like you see everybody playing these games, and you want to play them too, and it's like, you just want to give it a shot. And you never know. I might get the Strat PC baseball. I might love it, and I might hate it. I don't know, but that's what you got to do to check out there. You got to try it out. I got to try it. I do. I have to try. I might love it, and it might just be the best thing ever. But it also might be, I might not have fun with it at all. So you never know. But, thanks for everybody coming in. Jeffrey, thanks for stopping by tonight. Everyone keep rolling. Yep. I have to try out my new hockey dice tray. I haven't tried the hockey one. I played the baseball one. I need to pull out the hockey dice tray and roll some hockey. I just don't know what game. I don't know if I'm going to play Shootout or Apper or Strat or Hockey Blast or whatever, but I got to get the new hockey one out. It looks fantastic. And I really got to play some more hockey here on the channel. I just wish Strat PC hockey, you can roll your own dice. They need to do that. They need to do that. I don't know why they don't do that. They need to do that. So anyway, but all right. So, before I go off on another tangent here, I'm going to jump off here again. Guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks for sharing your Saturday night with me here on the channel. Terrific chat group tonight, as we always have. And we just talk about the things that we enjoy, and that's what makes this community a really fun one. So I'm going to jump out. I'm going to go take another tea with honey, get my voice better, and we'll talk to everybody later. New Digital to Dice come out. I think we did it Friday, yesterday. Yeah, we talked about playoffs and how we play playoffs and trials and tribulations of doing that, and got some good feedback there as well. So we will talk to everybody later. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later. And cheers. Hockey Unreal, and thanks for coming in. Yep, that was a good time tonight. Good chat tonight. Solid chat. Talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.